Welcome guys back. So I've just been thinking about this because I've been thinking about this for quite a while, but I decided not to do anything until it actually came up for a problem, because I decided, well, if it isn't a problem, then no one will say, but if it becomes a problem, people say it's a problem. And it has become a problem. I've received quite a few comments, and like PMs and all that stuff, saying stuff like, you know, let me fix this before I do it. I can't, for some random reason, I can't speak and do this stuff at the same time for some random reason. Saying stuff like, you know, it's quite hard to follow because you're all over the place. We come back and things have changed. The UI can't do that. Like, I can't really make it so it doesn't change just because I muck around for it a lot. Like, I bet you it hasn't changed. But, probably, maybe 10 episodes time it will be different again. The shop UI will be definitely different probably in 10 episodes, but this will probably be different again. I just constantly change it whenever I add something new. Now, 100% agree with the whole experience bar. That was completely changed, right? But don't worry, that is just UI stuff. That will be done soon. So, the differences was this whole portrait thing, and this is new. So, we're going to cover the portrait image today, and it's actually really easy. I actually didn't cover this before, and I totally forgot about it. That's totally my fault. You guys say this is just to display an image. This is literally just to display an image. So for those people that are going, oh, what's this whole portrait thing? It is literally just displaying the image, and we're just getting the level from having a character, right? Because each character under their starting character has a sprite, and we're just accessing that. So that's it. That's how easy it is. Yeah. It's not hard, it's not complex, it's no difficult thing. It's literally just that. So, now let's talk about what else we want to do. So we also had like a little map that we put here. And we're just going to make it a bit smaller. We're probably going to curve off the edge for this map, to be honest. Regardless, so, I'll talk about it a bit later. Another thing is this buff slash debuff. Please just don't worry about the system, right? I'll explain a bit later. But essentially, it's just a little buff debuff thing that I'm going to build later. I haven't built anything about it. And these little scripts here, they do nothing. I just got a few things. Because I started doing it, then I said, I don't like it, so I haven't done it yet. I believe I may have a under abilities manager list of effects. I don't know, I may have somewhere list of effects. I don't, apparently. So today we're going to go through one of the scripts, and we're going to go through a set of scripts or a group of scripts each episode. This board manager, for those people wondering where's this board manager, this is on my other series. If you followed the episode when I covered this, I linked you to a, wait, did I? I believe I'm actually wrong here. I believe I don't actually have a series of this. I believe this is one of the first few episodes. I actually built this. I believe. But yeah, we haven't touched that. So I know this one is for sure either a series of it or it's one of the first few episodes. Now this whole argument thing, this is a bit complex. I'm going to explain this in another episode, but not today. This camera boundary, please just don't worry about this camera boundary thing right now, okay? Because we're going to be building our own camera system. So if you have a camera boundary that doesn't really work, it doesn't matter, because right now we're not using anything using cameras really, and we're going to start that probably. The problem is there's so much we have to do. So after the experience, which we basically have, I basically have all the equations for it. After experience, then we're probably going to pop over and do a bit of after experience I'll do camera, okay, and then I'll pop into buff debuff slash doing something like a mini map. Now we have a click detector here. I don't know if I covered this. I really don't. I really feel like I didn't cover this in my shop system, but I can't be for sure. Detect mouse over, obviously. Just detect mouse over. We're going to cover that in our shop system though. Though this is not just for shop system. I believe I use it for this, but I'm going to cover this in my shop system, right? Which is not today. I may be covering my shop today. We've got health bar, which we're going to cover another day. We've got monster move, which I'm going to explain. The pathfinding we're going to basically do from the beginning. Don't think I've covered open close. So I'm going to go for open close for those people who have missed it. So today is open close as well as health bar. And then we're also going to cover one or two others. But it will all be in the title and the description. So don't worry about this whole advanced inspector thing, right? Please don't worry about it. If you don't have advanced inspector, you should be fine, right? A lot of these scripts will work if you don't have advanced inspector. All of these scripts work. We're going to go through the stat system today too. Actually, instead of the health system, we're going through the stat system. That's what we're doing. So I'm going to be going through how to make it so it works without how I built it, right? Sounds a bit confusing, but we'll make it work without using advanced inspector, okay? So don't worry about these whole inspect things, right? So we just literally have an array of open close. And what's enclosed open close. So what's this stuff? Well, this is literally we have a array of classes. And this class has nothing. And it literally is just apparently now you gotta do scriptable objects. This is apparently a really good way to use it, apparently, but I don't know. And what we're just literally storing a button and a object, right? And then what we're saying is you can create one through code here, right? So this is how you create one through code, and you can also create one through the interface, which is what I would say I would prefer people. If you're going to use a script, I would say using for the interface is better, but you can create through code, which would be better if you're instantiating things for runtime. But yeah, so we'll just kind of go through them, and if you press any of the ones, then it opens that object. Now this is a big thing I'm going to explain, is that this is actually better than having an open close in each object. Under some circumstances, right? Under others, it's not. So why don't I have an open close on all my objects? Why don't I have like a... I'm just trying to think what else would I have it on. I don't know. Because the reason I don't have it absolutely everything is the idea that this works because it cuts out an update function. It does. It cuts out a little script or a little update function under some of these scripts that just turns them off and on. We don't always want that. But under a shop, like it doesn't really add too much more effort that we're having a little under our shop database just saying if you press this button do this. No, not really. So the effort of that doesn't change, but it does help for certain things, like the board manager. If you've never seen this board manager, it's in the first few episodes, okay? So that is a big thing, I'm just going to say that it's in the first few episodes. So, what else? Now we got this whole stat displayer. Now this is very important. We're just listing, how about doing express right now? Now we're going to go through our stat system. Don't worry about the player handler, unless I use it. We do this. I believe I'm going to have to delete it anyway, so we're just going to copy it, and then delete. And then run. We're gonna sync. Stuff it. We're just gonna stuff this whole system. I'll fix how to get the Visual Studio later. We're just gonna do this. Makes it easier. We have Mono Develop up, and I can show you actually how to edit Mono Develop. So under, I believe, File. No, it must be Edit then. Where is it? On the Mac version, I know it is because I displayed it on the Mac because there's no other. Oh, it's on here. Tools, options, and there's a bunch of stuff you can do. You should disable a few of them, but like right now it's fine. There we go. So we can do different formats of how we want it to look. So see, we can do stuff like this, and this is how you want to do it. This is the format of it. So now we're just gonna Also find where is Unity debugger. We don't want to build, and we want to, what is it? Here we go. We want to enable code folding, which allows us to, so do you know how we got these regions? We're allowed to fold them up into very small bits. We're always going to convert them, of course, and highlight the current line. Here's insert matching brace, and then format document, save, and no, there's a way for us to change the color of the thing. I can't remember where though. They're key bindings. Because I'm gonna make it like look dark. I believe it's let's see. There's a way you could search. Okay, it looks fine. I can change it to black whatever later, but right now I'm fine. So we're gonna discuss a few things. Now, shop database does have a problem here. Yeah, get component player inventory. Inventory manager. Damn it. Which will get the only inventory manager right now, which is not the way we want to do this. So we will pop a little note. Replace later. But we'll work now. This is great. Yes, okay, so we have fixed it. So now, for those people who don't have that, don't worry, you don't need it anymore. You don't need the play handler. We'll just remove the script, and we're going to talk about it a bit later. So there are two scripts we gotta know. There's two scripts in the stats system. These were talked over at the very beginning. There's starting character and the stats. The only one that needs 100% advanced inspector is stats. Only one. If you remove it, there will be a bug. But don't worry. It's not that bad. And we can show you how to fix it. Now if you look at this U dictionary, it's actually an advanced inspector plugin. So it's under plugins, advanced inspector, core, U dictionary. This is it. Damn it. Stupid curse. So what is this? If you actually look at it, actually it takes off iDictionary. So, if you use any sort of dictionary for this, it will work. The only reason we are using uDictionary is so we can see it and edit it here. Only reason. And for example, we can have these little buttons. Only reason. Okay? Big thing. We're going to do a startup, and then we're going to give ourselves 100 default gold. So that's the only reason that we actually, 1,000. That's the only reason that we need Advanced Inspector, so we can see. So if you don't have it, you can use either iDictionary or you can use a normal dictionary if you have the system generic. Right? So the only reason I use uDictionary, I'll repeat this again, is so I can see it in the inspector. Now, let's show you the code. So here we have an enum of stats. These are every stat that can be it. Now, there is a slight problem you may see. You may see that these stats are called current armor, but there can't be spaces in enums. There can be this. And what we can do is we can go through all those things like that, and we can... Oh man. Today I'm a bit hiccupy. And today we can... we can go through all those underlines and we can replace them in spaces. We can, but there's not much need for that. So what we actually want to do is we just want to keep them like that, and we'll have a little text array called our stat display, which I showed you a bit before. Actually, I haven't. I'll show you later. And it's just like a little text array of saying what do we call it, which allows us to call things like ability power, AP, attack damage, AD, instead of calling them attack, spacebar damage. But obviously you can call them that too. These booleans are not important right now, but they're just basically going to say whether or not your character can move, whether or not your character can attack, and whether or not your character can cast. So whenever he uses a spell, he's going to check whether or not the stat system allows him to cast. And a public transform is just going to keep a loaded tower. And that's only for the tower script, okay? So the reasons I've kind of gone back and forward and, you know, got all these scripts working together, it's fine. I'll explain it a bit later. Actually, I won't explain it. I will just tower script, right? It will get explained a bit down here. Type of damage. This is just so we can display what type of damage it does. Is it magical? Is it normal? Or is it armor piercing? The big difference is in this game, armor is like another health bar, right? I haven't built it, but it is like another health bar, right? So it means that armor piercing skips through your armor and attacks directly your health. Magical does the same, but what's the difference between the two? Well, magical may have other attributes. I believe armor piercing only is a percentage through, which I haven't done yet. Obviously, I've just done it straight through. But armor piercing is only a percentage, like 50% armor piercing, meaning 50% of it goes to your armor, 50% goes to your HP, where magical just skips straight past you. And normal goes for your armor first. A stat instance is just so every other script can access this. This line here is one of the most important parts of making this available to every script in the game. So, we're saying it's a static, meaning that this is basically available if you don't have a copy of the class. It belongs to the type itself rather than to a specific object, as it says. Which means that if we're accessing the type of stat, we can always access the stat instance. And guess what stat instance is? Stats. So we can always access this, and this is very important. So we set what stat instance is equal to. Then saying send array is equal to send stat data. This is just not important right now. Just a simple test. Just a simple test. And this is just a simple way so we can set the character stats, right? Very simple. Now, we have singled out inspector variables. That's so cool, actually. I really like that effect. Sorry, I kind of got... don't worry about these inspects. As I said before, it's just to tell the system that you can look at them, right? Don't worry them. If you don't have them, you'll be fine. I don't want people thinking, oh, and now I need to go buy this application. It's very good, and I would suggest you do that if you do a lot of inspector stuff like me. Use a lot of dictionaries and stuff that you can't normally access, but if you don't, it's fine. So we have an integer of a level. This is our current level. This is our send array. This is used for sending data to the server and for receiving, just sending the data to the server. So we can send an entire array of stats instead of having to send stat by stat, because you can't send dictionaries and you can't send lists. So you can't send dictionaries, so the system will go, okay, what's health, this. So you go send an array of them. And we have a stat of a number of stats. This is really important. This is one of the most important parts. This allows us to add more stats. So when we add stats, there's two things that we need to do. We need to add it to our list of enums, and then we need to add it here. Now, as you notice, there's not all the stats here. I'm actually gonna I know this may sound weird, but I'm actually gonna just go number stats like this. And then there's a reason why. I don't know why it's doing this weird kind of thing where it brings it down like that. That's really weird. I really don't like it. Apparently I can't control it, but that's fine. So this is just number stats, and this is done for whenever we process things. So big important thing is whenever we initialize our variables, we always use number stats. This is it. So certain characters can have different number stats than others. Since we're doing this number stats isn't really useful here. It's more useful later, but I'm going to explain it later, not right now. So we have something called basic stats. This is for every class that you want to use a set of stats, it has to use this basic stats. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be looking at this and going, oh man, it's a class. Wait, this is way too confusing. Wait, what? Why is it a class? Please, just don't worry. Just. Okay. It doesn't matter that it's a class. It really doesn't. Just some of this stuff is pretty useless here. I was trying to make it so you didn't have to keep clicking it to change the variables, whatever. We'll also explain it later. So this whole classing is just so every other script in the game can access a copy of basic stats and say, oh, I want a list of stats. And the reason why is if I got this list of stats and I would say, well, X list of stats, X list of stats, there we go, is equal to Y list of stats, then I can just go X equal Y, right? That would work. But if I didn't have this little class here, it wouldn't, because these two are different types. They're both dictionaries, they're not different types. They're different types. So this way, you can combine things, and it's kind of cool. And you just say, hey, file stats inspector is equal to a new basic stats. And see these set get functions? Well, basically, they're just everything, so we can set functions and we can get functions. So we have sending data, simple. Setting data, simple. You tell me what stat you need and what amount. And you go, why is this a string? Well, because our stat inspector runs on string. It used to run on enum, but it doesn't work as people think it works, because if we run it on an enum, what happens is it's a little problematic sometimes, right? Yeah, it's a little problematic. So it was easier to run in string. Trust me, I know it sounds weird, but it's a little easier. Okay. The main reason was I believe I was having problems because you can't convert a string to an enum. So I believe there was some problem there. I had some string output I wanted to convert to enum. Or I had to, whatever. And I decided it was just not worth it. Incrementing stats is if I want plus or minus. Obviously, if you give them out as a negative, this plus sign will be overridden to be negative, and it will minus it. Others will plus it. Now this is increment by percentage. Now, this is really important here because this allows me to say, oh, 10% extra. But you really shouldn't be doing this way. What you actually should be doing is, because you can get a stat, what you actually want to be doing is you actually want to be incrementing, you actually want to be doing something called increment, right? But you want to increment the percentage amount. So you want to increment the stat type of always, and then the float amount, you want to be actually getting the stat type, and then you want to be incrementing by how much you want. So by percent. So you want to be like, so you may have here, you may say, okay, well, I want to increment stat by, I don't know, health. And you'd go, okay, well, how much do I want to buy? Well, I would go, well, get stat, health, and I spelled it wrong, I guess, times by 10. That doesn't feel right. It's not percentage. Oh, times equal. So that means that will add to. So what this does, I know this sounds super weird, but what this is going to do, I spelled health wrong, but it doesn't matter, I'm just showing it, but I guess I might as well fix it. We're saying, hey, well, health is going to be plus or equal to the amount of health times this. And that equal sign means you're going to times, it's going to equal health times -1. I mean, plus 1. So it means this is going to add that value on top, basically. So, I know it sounds a bit confusing, but it's just you should be doing that way. But don't worry, I know it sounds super confusing. I explained it really badly, but maybe if you still don't, I will try to explain it within your context. You go, I still don't explain this, and I'll try to write it down, which will probably make more sense. Applied damage, and this is quite simple. But we are going to check time because 25 minutes already. See how fast we will barely get through a starting character. See how much stuff there is? This is one of the best scripts. So, if your damage, dam is just damage, right? And this is an optional parameter, so you don't actually need to say it. So you don't say it's normal, okay? And you give me a player name and amount. The player name is only so we can say, we can the same message saying, hey, damage dealt to player. Right? So that way that the tower goes, oh wait, this player has taken damage. You know, this player has dealt damage within my radius. I don't like this, and it's going to do so. And it seems a bit confusing. So incoming stat, obviously, by the health amount. If it's equal to magical, that's health. Or the get stat is equal to less than this. If it's just normal and the armor is greater than 0, then if the stat amount is this, if stat amount is equal to current armor is less than amount or is greater than equals 0. So basically, you got current armor, you have armor left, and you do armor. Otherwise, you do health. This is when you're setting level. This is when you're incrementing level. This is when you're getting a level. This is when you apply effect for duration. Your length, your stat to apply, your amount, and your amount percentage. Right? So we apply effects, and so we go, okay. So the reason why it's this is you can say, hey, give them 0 amount, so 0% amount, but give them 10%, so we'll do the 10%. Yeah, see this? This is gonna, after this, gonna remove the effect, and then simple, then reset level, so obviously reset level. And this is apparently weird. I don't know what I've done wrong. Collision and yeah, and some I did wrong because there's another little character script, but that's fine. And collision exit. Initialize, very simple. It just goes. This is only for inspector functions. If you don't have events inspector, you don't need this. You don't want this. This won't work for you if you don't have events inspector. Okay, very very important. I mean, you can still have it if you want to initialize things, but like it's not like you're gonna have little buttons you can press, right? Oh, you still want to initialize. You just don't want this. So you still want this, but you don't want this. So if you have this, keep it. But if you have this, remove it. I rushed through that like really really fast just because we weren't running out of time. Inspector values, stat data, very simple. We're literally just giving me a bunch of basics. What's that data? Wait, what? Avoid startup. Start data to initialize. Oh, just don't listen to what I just said. Stat data is just a copy of stats, right? It's literally just a copy of this script here, so we can access it. But we don't really need to access it because technically we can do it a different way. What we're gonna do? So we're gonna say stat data dot stat instance. Oh, so stats dot stat instance dot initialize. So we actually do need initialize, as I was saying before. If you don't have initialize, you're gonna run into a few problems. Okay, so make sure you have that initialize script so we can initialize the starting scripts. Oh wait, no. Okay. I'm just on fire, so I just totally forgot what my code did. Okay, so this is a button. You press it like this, like this. You press it, it does a startup, so that's all your values back to 0. If you don't have Event Inspector, you won't be using this, okay? So don't worry. So this is only events if you have Events Inspector. This is if you're going to be coding in the starting values. You give me a list of values and I will add to them. You really shouldn't be doing this. I understand why you would if we're having extensions of starting character. I understand why you would and stuff like that. But I really wouldn't suggest it. But hey, It's something for me to say. Okay. That's this episode done on the 3-minute mark. Holy cow, that was hard. We're going to keep going further though.